Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today's video I will be going over my accepted portfolio to art school. Yeah, so this one will be more of a general art portfolio tips help thing because a lot of these US art schools require the same thing, which is 12 to 20 of your best artworks to showcase your abilities. So I will be going over that. I applied to 3 schools and I got accepted to all 3. So the first one is MICA, the second one is SCAD, and the third one is Calarts. So I submitted basically the same portfolio for MICA to get in and SCAD for their scholarship, and for Calarts I did use a lot of the same pieces, but they also have separate requirements which I will be making another video on, as well as my Gumroad. I have my full Calarts application / portfolio which is in the description. I wanted to study animation in the future, so my portfolio was more directed towards animation, even though there was a lot of illustration in it as well. Depending on the school, there are different things you look for. Some they look for your creative or artistic voice, and some look for your technical ability more. So for Calarts, for example, they really look at your technical ability, and for example MICA, they really look at expressing your artistic voice. So it depends on the school, and a good way to know what kind of portfolio your school wants is to attend their webinars. So really important is to do research. Okay, so without further ado, let me pull up my portfolio. Let's go. So my first piece is The Market, and it is a digital illustration. I included this piece because it is kind of a way how the girl is looking in is like a reflection of how the admission officers are looking into my life, and I also just really liked my color choice and the strong sense of lighting in this piece. So this piece is about my culture, which is how I'm an international student in Hong Kong, and even though I was a local school student prior, there was just a lot of cultural differences, I feel like, between international student culture and local student culture, and I feel like I'm like in the middle. Like I sometimes feel like I don't really belong into both of these categories, which is kind of sad, and this piece is a reflection of that, but also to showcase my love for the city because I portrayed Hong Kong in such a, I guess, a romantic way. So this is why I put the piece. So my next piece is called Little Seven, and there's actually a Chinese name called Calarts, and this is also a digital piece. And if you couldn't tell, this piece was inspired by Edward Hopper's Nighthawks, which is a very famous painting, and I just wanted to portray Hong Kong culture in a more modern way, like how Hopper portrayed New York City during like the 1940s. So I just wanted to showcase the same thing. And the reason why I included 7-Eleven is because there's this one day I was walking home from dance and it was really dark, and it was really late too. So I was walking home and then I just see the 7-Eleven glowing because all the other shops are closed, and I just felt like that was a scene to remember, and I wanted more people to be able to see what I saw. I just thought it was very melancholic, and I just wanted to portray that. So yeah. My next piece is City Lights, and this is an acrylic on canvas. So another thing is I like showing that I am able to portray different mediums, and this one is basically talking about the solitude and urban life. The particular expression of looking up is to show my appreciation of Hong Kong because I love Hong Kong. Okay, so the next piece is called Fish Tank, and this piece I mainly did it for my Calarts portfolio because they really look at direct pen work as well as observational drawing, so this was that fused with a little bit of like creativity. I also wanted to take more opportunities to showcase Hong Kong culture. I feel like Hong Kong fish shops have a very specialty to them, especially with like the purple and blue lights. I just really like that feeling, and my dad is actually friends with one of the people who own a fish shop, so I went there and just sat there for like 2 hours just drawing while other customers came in, and it was a really nice day. My next piece is called The Noodle Shop. So this one shows there's like a series in my work, and this one I was just drawing the noodle shop dude while my dad was eating noodles. So I was waiting for my dad to finish his noodles, else, but I got bored, so I started drawing. And then when I started drawing, I couldn't stop, so at the end he had to wait for me. So it was very nice. And I mainly only colored the noodle shop dude because it's to show like focal point zooming out. So yeah, next I included some figure drawings. I'm going to censor it, but I have my Gumroad down below. You can check out for an uncensored version. Figure drawings is a really crucial part of being an artist. It really helps you to learn more about the form and just human anatomy. So that's why I included this in, mainly to show technical ability, and same for the piece afterwards, and more in the piece afterwards too. They're all to showcase technical ability. Okay, next is the digital piece at the studio, and this one is also more figure drawing. I know MICA didn't really look for figure drawing, but I just wanted to show that I am able to draw, and this piece I did it mainly to show that I'm able to draw figures in person, because the other ones I might or might not have done it online because of COVID, and I also did not want to leave my house. So yeah, the next piece is called Is That Us, and this is a digital Procreate piece, and this one is mainly to show understanding of animal anatomy. Penguins are my favorite animals, as you can see here, so that's why I included it. And this piece I also want to showcase that I'm very funny and creative, so it's basically an animal study mixed with like a comic. So it's just like these penguins, they're like in an exhibit, and then they see their skeletons themselves, you know, haha, so funny. So yeah, the next piece is called Cat, because the cat is really long. You know, get it? Ha, isn't it so funny? Okay, so this piece, I did it for a portfolio development workshop for Calarts for the character design assignment, and I just really like it. I thought it was really cool, like this mystical cat that is really long. I just thought it was very lit. Okay, the next piece is called Hi, It's V, so it's a character design, and I am mainly applying to like the animation majors. Even though for MICA and SCAD they don't really look for a specific major, but you do have to say which major that you're interested in, and I am interested in the animation major, so I wanted to showcase I'm able to do some animation. And in this piece I just wanted to create a character with really exaggerated silhouettes and her cool background story and just funny anecdotes, like don't worry, she does cut her fangs, just not often, which is why you can't really see her eyes. And then the drawing above is like stand back because she's scared of butterflies, and then the one below is like stand still because, you know, when you're drawing someone you want them to stand still but they keep moving. It's really annoying, so if I'm drawing you, please stop moving. It's very disrespectful to me, okay? And then the next piece is a storyboard using the character V, and it's basically a story about how she wanted to listen to music while she was drawing, but then her earphones were so tangled that she couldn't detangle it, but then in return she came up with another idea through these tangled earphones because it formed into some really weird chicken type shape, and that made her have the idea to draw this chicken thing. So yeah, I thought it was a pretty quirky idea, so I put it in. My next piece is called 铁观音, so it is Tigonyam in Cantonese, and basically Tigonyam is a type of tea, but then Gonyam means like a goddess. I don't know the direct translation, like a Chinese goddess type person, so that's why it's like kind of like a play on word. And then the drawing is basically a creature that I made, and it's just like a lot of Chinese elements fused together to show more of my cultural identity. And this piece kind of symbolizes how this is basically a mutant of culture, and it is in a way inspired by the sense of alienation I feel toward my own culture sometimes, especially as an international student. There is a really huge gap between the international students and the local students, and I'm just like in between, I feel like, so I don't really know. In this piece you see elements like the lion dance costume, Bohemia flowers, which is what is on our Hong Kong flag, and then the Cantonese opera costume, as well as like red packets, Ping On Bun, which is this festival we have, and also bianlian, which is a type of face-changing art, and then the 铁观音 tea, which she's pouring out, which is making this weird like blob thing. So I thought it was very cool. Yeah, so the mutant kind of represents the desire to feel a part of the culture, which is why they were like concealing themselves with all these tangible items, because they don't really feel like they're part of the culture, so they're just like pretending they are, if that makes sense. Yeah. So my next piece is Last Petal, and this is inspired by like the quote that is like, does she love me, does she love me not, while you like pick at the flowers. This is an installation type of piece. I basically just painted on these 4 panels of IKEA mirrors, and then I stuck it on an actual mirror in a toilet, so it looks like I drew it directly on the mirror there, and it is kind of like a reflection of someone staring to themselves, but they're looking at themselves like with disgust, and they're just like angrily staring, and it kind of shows like how in the past I wasn't really confident about my looks, and I would always look into the mirror in disgust, and I would stare at myself with these giant glaring eyes. And this self-portrait kind of captures the inner conflict I have with myself. Like, she's looking down on me and asking her to answer the question, does she love me, does she love me not? Okay, and hopefully the last petal of the flower will be able to show the answer that I want. So yeah. Hi everyone. When you see this, it's probably way into the future. It's like November 20 something right now. So this is a toilet, and I just taped the mirror pieces on the actual mirror, and I mean like you can kind of see it with like these things, but yeah, I just taped it on. The mirror is from IKEA, and yeah, I just took some pictures. I like kind of set it up because she's raging. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. Yay, cool. I'm actually really proud of it. I started at 4:30 p.m. today, and then it's like 10 now, and I had dinner and everything, so solid work. Very productive today. Okay, that's it. Bye-bye. Okay, so my final piece, I wanted to end my portfolio on a more larger feeling note and just have a lot of emotions, so they're going to be like wow and remember my portfolio more. So this one is a short animation. It's only 10 seconds and it's called Count to 10. I posted on YouTube, you can check it out, and it's basically talking about anxiety, because it is something that I feel like a lot of people deal with. Anxiety is the feeling of uneasiness, dread, and fear as a reaction to stress, and I just wanted to show that it's okay to be anxious sometimes, and to show that sometimes these symptoms can really manifest physically, even though you might not know it. Like, for example, you might be sweating and your hands might be shaking, or you might feel like your chest hurts, and these symptoms of stress and anxiety are more prevalent than you think, and I just wanted to showcase that mental health is really important. I also, for this animation piece, I actually did the sound myself too. So I was on Logic and I just like pressed, I forgot which note, but then I just tried all the instruments and found the most disturbing type of instrument, and then I made the reverb really loud, and then I also added this like what is it called? Okay, so basically in the past, 17, which is this K-pop boy band, they had this thing which is called like 17 audio kit, where they like told like their fan base to like make music with it. So they just sent a lot of samples and files, and I just took one of them that is like a crescendo thing, and I just put it in. So yeah, thank you Woozy and Boomzoo, very lit. So now I'm going to be talking about tips for the portfolio. I feel like since they see you only through the things you submit, make sure that your portfolio is a really good representation of you as a person. And also you can write descriptions for your pieces. I really recommend doing that. And to show, and through your artwork, try to show things that you are passionate about. For me, it was my Hong Kong culture and showing this sense of loneliness I kind of felt while being an international student, but also mental health, because those are things that I'm really passionate about. You can see it through my portfolio, And the order for your portfolio also really matters. I suggest you start works that is your best, and then it's like okay-ish to very best. So best in the beginning is to have that initial wow factor, so the admission team will be more interested in your portfolio. The middle ones are not as good, but they're still really, really good. And then at the end, you end it on your very, very best, so that it will leave a really strong impression to these admission officers, especially for you to stand out and to be more memorable in the thousands of applications that the admissions office receives. Another thing that the MICA admission officer told me is that they kind of like works that are like paired together. So maybe have like works from like a series. For example, you can see the fish tank one and the noodle shop one. They're kind of like the same style and theme, as well as the two animal studies, like the penguin one I did and the cat one I did. And another thing about the order is to kind of separate it as different themes. So in the beginning, I started with Hong Kong culture, and then I moved to character designs and animation things, and then at the end, I talked about mental health. So that is how I did the order, and that is really important to keep in mind. Don't have pieces that are like all over the place. For me, my main goal for my portfolio is for them to know me the best as a person, but also for each piece, I would fuse technical aspects with creative aspects. Like even for more technical works, I wanted to include it in to show that I have a strong understanding and that I am a well-rounded artist. And yeah. Hi guys, as you can tell from the photo booth setup, yes, I am editing, so I just kind of wanted to transition to the next part. So when I filmed this video, which is I think a few weeks ago, until now when I'm editing, I really thought how to make this video to be the best and most useful as possible, so I decided to reach out to one of my friends, Mia, who applied to a lot of art schools as well, and she applied to a lot of different art schools from me, as well as she applied more for illustrations rather than animation majors, so I thought having her input would be really, really cool to hear. So yeah, take it away, Mia. Woo!
Hello, my name is Mia, aka 7Lifo on Instagram and YouTube. So I also applied to art schools like Veda, and I applied to RISD, Parsons, Northeastern, and UC Santa Barbara. Northeastern and UC Santa Barbara are less art schools, but I heard they have good programs, and they seem to have good programs, so I applied to them as well. And thankfully, I got accepted to all of them, which I'm like, I think that's it for the introduction. So some tips I have, I would say, like, I think Veda touched on most of the points, like be yourself, show who you want to be. Like, I think that's the main thing for me as well. But I guess some like more detailed tips would be like taking photos well really does matter, because I talked about this in my own portfolio video as well, but taking photos that like show your artwork the way you want to show it is really important, because if your artwork is really great but the way you take photos of it is not, then like the admissions like cannot see that. So it's important to take photos of your artwork well. And you know, sometimes the photo can even look better than the artwork itself, so it could be for the better as well. And I think if you're having trouble like starting your portfolio and like you don't know what to do, I would say like it helps to like reflect on who you think you are as a person and like what you want to show them. I know it's a bit vague, but I guess you could start by like thinking like, what do you like the most about yourself? And don't say nothing, because there should be something, and if there really isn't, then maybe ask the people around you. So I think that's a good way to like start if you're at that stage. And yeah, good luck on your journey. Yes.
That is basically all the works and advice I have for my accepted portfolio. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and Please subscribe if you would like to see more content from me, as well as my future college endeavors, I guess. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. I really hope the best for your own college app journey. I already have one video already, and I will leave a playlist like in the description or at the end card of this video. I know the journey to starting your college app might be really stressful, but I think that if you just stay true to yourself and be passionate about what you're doing, you will see results no matter what. And even though if you might get a waitlist or a rejection, it doesn't define you as an artist, and we're still so young and there's just so much road ahead of us to develop an artist. So don't have this one small obstacle stop you from doing it, because if you stop, then you will never improve. But if you keep going, even though you might not see results, you are improving. So that is what I like to keep in mind. So that's the end of this video. Please check out my Gumroad if you're interested for more portfolio help things, especially for Calarts. And yeah, see you in the next video. Bye!